been in a
Sorry, that's
train wreck.
not
I'm going to see
common
if you will.
courtesy. That's not common courtesy. These are my children.
I wouldn't come in the house. See, I'm a female. I wouldn't come in the house without asking how are the kids. I mean, I guess you just expect that to happen,
Okay.
from
So
female
what?
perspective.
What?
Okay, I know he loves the kids. I'm not accusing
Oh,
you
you
of that,
do.
but you don't spend time
You
with them,
do know he loves
darling. You do
kids.
not spend time with them, and that's important.
The other thing I wanted to ask you: does Bill know how much you care about him? How much you love him? Do you think Bill knows?
Earlier in the marriage, we would
No,
tell
no,
each
no, no, no.
other.
We ain't talking about early in the marriage.
Well,
Let's
right
talk
now,
about now.
well, to be absolutely honest, I don't think he particularly finds me attractive, and I feel funny about that. I don't think
Uh-huh.
I think that what's that saying is. Sometimes I feel it's just he thinks it's cheaper to keep her. That's a saying. I'm
Ooh.
sorry, I do feel that way sometimes
Wow.
because you're not home.
Wow.
I have felt that you've had other romantic, sexual interests.
Uh-huh.
Nothing's happening in our
Uh-huh.
bed, so
So you're very concerned about this. Sounds like you're very concerned about this.
it's not a marriage.
Uh-huh.
We sort of like a roommate that we argue and we happen to have some children together. You
Wow.
know, and
Uh-huh.
it's too inconvenient to move
And you
sometimes
really
to
want to
find a place.
change that.
It's going to have to change, or else I am going to be someplace else,
Uh-huh. So,
or
and
he's
you
going
don't
to be
want
somewhere
that.
else.
You don't want that. Uh-huh. Okay, let me ask you another strange question. I have lots of these strange questions. Okay. Let's say on sort of a scale of 1 to 10, 10 stands for as things right now. And you know what you've been through. The two of you know what you've been through. And you know what the issue's been. And you know what the issues are better than I do right now. Let's say 10 stands for that you will do just about anything humanly possible to make this marriage work. That stands for 10. Okay? And a 1 stands for poof, you're ready to sort of throw in a towel and you're ready to walk away from this. Where would you each of you say you're at on a scale of 1 to 10?
Honestly,
Honestly,
Seven.
7. Uh-huh. How about for you?
well, past year or so, I think I've been at a 10, quite frankly. But
Right.
the way I'm feeling now, I'm probably, let's put it this way. I've talked to a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just to inquire about what my rights would be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably about a 5.
About a
I'm in the
5.
middle somewhere.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want it to go to the 1, but
You
I
don't
can't
want to be
keep.
at 1.
No, but
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm pulling it alone.
Right. Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm surprised you had a 7.
Okay. Now, I have another sort of a set of a numbers question here. Knowing how things are right now between the two of you, let's say 10 stands for you have every confidence that this marriage is going to survive. Okay? 10 stands for that. That this marriage has every chance of making it. And 1 stands for, it's just the opposite of that. There is no chance this marriage is going to make it. Where would you say things are at right now?
Well, if we worked at it, I could say it would be more than a 5.
Really? So
If
you see a lot of potential in this.
Well, we do love each other. I know it doesn't sound
Uh-huh.
like it, but I think we do.
You do.
I know I love him. I
Uh-huh.
think he loves me.
Does he know? Does Bill know how much you love him?
He ought to.
He ought to.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think he does?
Do. Nice. See, I shouldn't have told him about the lawyer thing. Now he's mad at me.
I'm not mad.
I didn't see one of your
Uh-huh.
coworkers.
Uh-huh.
I'm not mad. I'm
Yeah.
not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just.
Okay. How about for you?
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, what would you say the chances of this marriage making it?
Um, I would really say an 8
8.
because I mean I want this to work.
Hmm.
I'm willing to try to make it work.
Hmm.
I mean we have to find some kind of way to compromise though, because I'm just not. I mean. I didn't go through undergrad and law school and, you know, carrying letters and all that, working in the mail, all that bullshit just to now suddenly, chuck it all away. I mean, we can't just live off of your salary,
all away.
you know?
What would it take, do you think, for these chances from your point of view, Leslie? What would it take for you to go from 5 to 6 so you can say it's just a little bit better? It's not perfect yet. It's not all the way up to 10, but it's just a little bit better. What has to happen between the two of you so that you can say that to yourself?
Well, he could call like he said he
Mhm.
would, and if
That would help.
Yeah, and if he could just make some effort, I would recognize it
Uh-huh.
with trying to share some of the responsibilities. I know he has to work,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know if I could feel.
So calling would help you a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if he could hug me sometimes. I don't know.
You
See
could what?
if he could hug me sometimes
Ah,
to make
he
me
could hug
feel
you.
like a wife.
Okay, that would help also.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Now, what would that mean? What does that mean? How would that help? His hugging you and calling you, and I don't understand that. How would that be helpful for you?
Because for me, first of all, he doesn't believe it, but I do worry about him. It can be dangerous out here, and two,
Ah.
we could talk just about what his day has been like. I would know what time he was going to come home. Maybe I would sit up and we could have a late dinner together. But sometimes I sit up and I don't know what time he's. I just fall asleep and then he comes in and the next thing I know he's in the bed, but then he's asleep and.
So some more personal, private time together.
Right. The kids still go to bed relatively early, but then I'm
Uh-huh.
just doing some paperwork or I end up
Okay.
watching TV
All
alone.
right.
I don't
Now-
know what time he's coming in.
What about it that would be helpful for you? Having those kind of private times between the two of you. What would
Well,
what
we used to
about
have
it?
those private times
You
before
used
the
to
kids
have
were born,
those.
and
I
and it was something I looked forward to. I mean, he was working. He was working then long hours,
Mm-hmm.
but that was our special time, and we talked. I mean, I knew people at his office before, not always personally, but because we talked about those things, and I talked about my problems at the
Right.
job. I just talk to my mother now,
Yeah.
about anything. She knows more about what's happening at the
Yeah.
company than you. I mean, because you don't ask. You're not around.
Okay.
You
Let's
don't-
leave your
All
mother
right.
out of this.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
He doesn't like my mother.
Right. Okay.
But that's what I have to
I
talk
didn't
about.
say that. I just said let's leave her out of this. She doesn't really have anything to
Okay.
do with this.
It's part of the
So
problem. Too.
when you have this private time, talking about what his day's been like, what his work is like, and he also asks you about what your day's been like, and having this time without the children,
Mm-hmm.
and that would, how would that be helpful?
It was close. It was a kind of, your husband is your main confidant, and we would have that relationship. And then I remember times we would even go to bed and make love, and it would be nice, and it was beautiful. That doesn't happen anymore either.
Right. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Those some special moments with Bill that you feel close to and you feel like he's your confidant and okay.
Did you like those? I mean, I thought it was fun. I looked forward to it. I mean, no matter how bad the day was, I could look forward to it at some point, you know, over salad or whatever, maybe even a glass of wine. We would talk. We would have good times.
Suppose Leslie believes you that you are working when you're not home, that you're working. How would that be helpful for you to know that she believes you?
Well, you know, I mean, believe it or not, this stuff bothers me as well.
Of course.
You know, I
Of
mean,
course it does.
I can't go off and work knowing, you know, and that's, you know, I mean, that's some of why I just don't call. Because if I call, we're gonna get in an argument about when I'm
Right.
coming, what am I doing, who am I with, and all of
Right.
that. Third degree, and I'm trying to be in the middle of taking care of business. I can't
Right.
function like that.
Okay.
You know, I
But
can't
suppose
take
she
care of my
does.
business like that.
Suppose
So what
she
what needs?
believes. So she believes you that you are working and not with other women. How would that be helpful for you?
It would put my mind at ease.
Uh-huh.
It would make it easier for me to take care of what I need to take care of.
Uh-huh.
And some things that might take 2 meetings, I might be able to get done in one.
Uh-huh.
I'm for that.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I am.
Okay. All right. Okay. Great. So you're saying you're willing to at least try that?
I said try.
Right, right.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, I just,
Okay.
you know,
Is there something that Leslie can do to make it easy for that to happen?
yeah.
What? What can she do to make
You
it
know-
easy for that to happen?
I'm listening. I'm all ears. What can I do? I'll do it. I'll do it. Within reason.
Just be understanding.
Okay.
You know,
what
just
does that
don't-
mean?
Well, you
What
know,
does
I
that
mean,
mean?
don't
Be understanding.
pressure me.
Ah, okay.
Don't pressure me.
Okay.
Okay.
Not pressure you.
And know that I'm trying.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
and know that I love you and I love our children.
Okay.
You know, and that I'm really, really and truly trying. You know, and I mean, you know, it's difficult, and you know, a lot of times I just don't have the time. You know, but that you
You're
know,
going to be able to make time? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm trying. I'm gonna try to make time. You know, I'm gonna try to make time. I'm gonna try the best I can.
Okay.
You know, but I have a vision, and you need to help me with this vision. You know, and if the vision calls for you maybe to do a little more now, then you know, I guarantee you'll do a little less later.
That was a very difficult session. And I'm sure this is a pretty typical kind of cases that you run into. And also, in a way, they both bring up some very important issues. That is sort of for Bill, that his way of caring about his family is to be a good provider and to be successful. He kept saying, I am working for my family. I am working for all of us. And so his vision, he keeps also talking about this vision of his future is to be a good provider in such a way that Leslie can even stay home and not have to go to work. And so in some ways, I suppose one could say he has a very traditional view of marriage. At the same time, he recognizes that there needs to be some balance between the two. On the other hand, Leslie's issue has to do with more here and now, the family relationship now, the more time spent with the children, watching, helping her out, doing things together, more intimate moments that they used to share in an early period of their life. And so what she wants and he wants, they both are related to relationships, but comes from very different angle. So what they need to do is somehow not see this as an either-or situation, but think of this as a both and. And obviously, clients don't see that, and that's what gets them stuck, is when they stick to seeing things from either-or point of view rather than both and. So our job, or my job, is to help them somehow figure out how to see, how they could see themselves working cooperatively together. And I certainly believe that they need both this visions of the future, as well as also what needs to happen right now. And so what I'm going to do next is I will invite the couple back into the room, and there will be three components to what I would say. The first one is some sense of acknowledging, validating their point of view, and also the task, some sort of bridging statement that leads to the suggestion that we're going to offer. And since the couple are so other focused, that is, Leslie is very concerned about what Bill is not doing, and also Bill is very concerned about what Leslie is not doing, and therefore the task will be designed to watch each other, but from different point of view than they have done in the past. That is, they have been very focused on what the other person is not doing, and so this time we will have suggest to them about what the other person is doing to help the marriage. I had to think long and hard, and I really have to tell you that I think that your calling to set up this appointment was a really good time, really good timing, because you don't want to make things worse. You don't want things to get any worse than it already has been. And sounds like you are very concerned about what's not happening between the two of you. And I think that you wanted to do something about that. And I really am very impressed, Beryl, that you responded to Leslie's initiating this meeting, and your willingness to take time from your very busy schedule. And obviously this relationship is very important to you.
Yes.
And that's why you are here, to do something about this. And what occurred to me is that both of you really care about this relationship, about this marriage a great deal, but both in a very different way. Okay, let me sort of explain to you about this. Bill, your way of caring about this relationship is to have this vision of the future, how you want things to be. That is, I guess you're sort of accustomed to sacrificing a lot for the future, and that's how you still see it, that in order to have a better future, even to the point of maybe Leslie staying home one of these days.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. That the financially that you could become comfortable enough, you could earn enough money so that she could stay home. And so you have this vision of the future, how you want things to be. And so that's how you care about this relationship. On the other hand, Leslie, your way of caring about this relationship is to paying attention to now. When the children are young, you want the two of you to do more things with the children. You want to share this experience of raising children together. You want to stay close and have more intimate moments, and somehow trying to make it, I mean, sort of like have it all, right? And that's how you are, you care about this relationship. So there is, really, there's no question in my mind that both of you care about each other in a very different way. Very different way. And oftentimes that gets misunderstood. And I think that both of you need both ways. Okay? Any relationship needs both. That is, you have to pay attention to here now as well as the future. Okay? You need to do both. And it's like Bill said, it's a matter of a balance, how to balance here and now, and also worrying about the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that you two have a very good start because you already are there thinking about right now as well as the future. Okay? So the next task for the two of you, next job for the two of you, is to figure out how to sort of fit two of your concerns together to make it fit better. I don't think it's either your way or your way. It's the blending of the two. That somehow how to make a balance. In order to do that, both of you have to work together to strike this balance. Okay? And I really like the way that you want to get started on this. You really, you have some ideas already. You have lots of ideas about how to get started on that. Okay? Like having this sort of stealing this few moments here and there, without the children. And that certainly would help. So what I would like to suggest to you between now and next time we get together is for each of you to keep track of what the other person is doing. For you to keep track of what Bill does and for you to keep track of what Leslie does to make things a little bit better. Little bit better for the marriage. And it's important for you to not to discuss it, but just keep track of that. Just observe and keep track of that. And when we come back together, we will discuss it more, the details of that. But I want you to sort of observe it, file it away, and then when we get together, we'll talk about that. Okay? Well, it's been 2 weeks since the last session. And before the couple comes back, I want to talk a little bit about what I will be focusing on this session. I guess the second session task is to elicit whatever the small change is. Because change and what is different this time, because the difference is going to lead to change. And so some ways to eliciting their impression of what's been different. And also the next comes then some amplifying how these small change has had an impact on other parts of their life. So I may ask about not only what the children notice different, but also may ask about how their colleagues on a job or their employers or their co-workers may have noticed different about them. And then the view toward then is what is the next step. Not only reinforcing these changes, but also moving toward what will be the next step. And that could be done in talking about by concrete step-by-step fashion, which I would guess that this couple would respond better. Also, you could also find out about that through use of the scaling question. And then again, at the end, I would take a break and give the couple some comments and feedback, as well as some ideas or suggestions for what might be the next step. Nice to see you back.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. So, it's been about 2 weeks since we got together last time.
Mm-hmm.
What's been better for the two of you?
You first.
We managed to. I managed to bargain for some time, and
No kidding.
we took the kids to the zoo. We had a wonderful time.
Mm-hmm.
Really
We
did.
really
We had a
did.
great
They
time.
really enjoyed it.
Really? Wow. How did you manage that?
How did you manage it?
Yeah.
Actually, what I did was I transferred a case that I had, gave it to someone else in the office.
No kidding.
Which I told my wife I would not be making a practice of. I'll do this occasionally, but I can't make a practice of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But you were willing to do that this time.
yes,
Wow.
yes. I mean,
That must have been
his
hard.
understanding of the situation, and we actually spent.
I appreciate it. We had so much fun.
Oh, you did?
We spent
Wow.
some
Really? Without the kids?
some intimate time
Intimate
together.
times. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So anyway, I'm hoping now that my wife will begin to understand that I love her, and
Okay.
that I'm not out here to
Okay.
do anything for anybody other than ourselves.
Now, would you agree that was fun time for you also?
That was really wonderful.
Awesome.
I want to do it next week.
Ah.
I know.
Uh-huh.
We can't every week, but
Right.
it really made a difference.
Uh-huh.
The children were so excited about going to see the animals, and Daddy was coming too. They couldn't believe it. It was wonderful.
Wow. That was wonderful, right?
We had a good time.
You did. Yeah. That must have taken quite a bit of coordination to pull it off. I mean, that's not easy to do that with 4 kids. I mean, 4 people's schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was so wonderful because he told me in advance that
Oh, he did. He did. tell you
Woody,
that,
I'm gonna be able to take this Saturday
Yeah.
for this time. What do you want us to do? And so we actually thought about a couple of things and decided
Okay.
upon the zoo. So there was that kind of communication because I did need to coordinate to make sure that I didn't have to go into
Right.
work that day
Right.
and such.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate it.